We live in a very fast-changing world. Technological solutions are emerging everywhere. So being fast, being agile is crucial to the growth of your company, to the competitiveness of your company. So if we want to maintain that high, fast-paced level of innovation, we need to bring ideas out there as soon as they have arrived. Justice and fairness are essential human values that, regardless of the context that we work in, regardless whether we work in a technological environment or not, these are principles that matter. Every person, every individual on this planet deserves the right to have their ideas protected and create value for themselves. So in essence, going back, the intellectual property rights are a standard that need to be maintained. And I think many companies pride themselves in following that procedure.
It has built a huge repertoire of intellectual property and has now become part of a global movement supporting intellectual property. So Huawei is also involved in setting standards for the internet around the globe. It is engaged in some 400 different standards organizations that codify the technologies which are used to allow the whole global economy to interoperate. And just as the world is tied together in part by Huawei's fiber optic lines, access to this world of communication will increasingly reflect the intellectual property developed by Huawei. It has now become a pioneer in the world economy, innovating on its own. So this has been a great story, and intellectual property, invention, human ingenuity is at the heart of this story. And if Huawei is going to triumph in the future, it will not be on the basis of any theft. And so Huawei is now a defender, part of the global establishment, which enforces and defines new standards and new intellectual property.
Information and communications technologies lie at the heart of enabling many other industries to innovate and many other benefits and new products and services that people can enjoy. Through heavy investment in R&D and innovation, the ICT industry companies have created an enormous number of patents, which they are exchanged through cross-licensing. Huawei, for example, is arguably China's #1 innovator. It has over 87,000 patents, and 11,000 of those are registered in the United States of America. Many are shared through cross-licensing, and Huawei's contribution to the development of 5G is well recognized around the world. It's involved in more than 400 standard-setting communities, cross-licensing agreements, alliances, and open-source communities around the world. Yet Senator Rubio has proposed new legislation that prevents Huawei from exercising its IP rights on its patents in the US and stop cross-licensing with American companies. But these restrictions can apply to any company that the US decides to put on its priority watch list. So the question I ask is, who next? It could be any foreign company. The long-term cost of throwing these international cooperation rules we've developed over decades would be absolutely immense. We need to bring the debate about international IP back to a matter of facts and away from emotion and political expediency. To do this, we need to strengthen the multilateral rules that govern the exchange of IP across the world. I sincerely hope that we'll all resolve to resist turning the clock back and move forward in innovation in the future.